welcome to the dinner table with your hosts, Q and She. But to this evening,
I'm not Q.
this evening,
I'm
Q,
G.
Q is on vacation. He's actually on vacation in Vegas celebrating his daughter's 21st birthday. So I hope they're going to have. They actually went today. So
happy birthday, Q's daughter.
Yes, happy birthday. She's turning 21, so he gave her a Vegas experience. So shout out to my co-host Q and his family. They are enjoying. I think they just landed not too long ago. Well, no, they're on their way, but they're going to enjoy Vegas for a few days. So
that's dope.
Instead of doing the show myself tonight, we had a great topic. I wanted to bring in a co-host. We wanted to bring in a co-host, and of course, I had to ask my co-host, was it okay? Because a guy, you know how y'all guys is, and he's like, absolutely, let's get him on the show. Let's
territorial.
Have him. Yeah. So this evening, my co-host is the one and only Mr. Fred Gilmore. So silly. What are you doing, Blade?
It's the Blade.
Yes. Anyway, this is about to be a crazy hour, y'all, because anybody who know Fred,
a whole fool,
entire fool. So we gonna definitely get ready. We're gonna have a great show tonight.
Buckle up.
Let's talk about a few things that's trending, some things that are going on right here in the city of Detroit and throughout the world. One thing I want to talk about. First of all, how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm pumped and amped. I'm ready to have this little conversation thing, whatnot.
Well, thank you for coming out and taking the opportunity, taking the time to join us here on the dinner table with Q and She.
Yeah,
it's a pleasure to have
tonight.
You. We're gonna eat. I was hoping we would have ate good now, but it is what it is.
It's not the Gilmore experience good,
it's not.
But it's gonna be Rasada.
Okay. Oh yes,
brought to you by.
We having a little bit of wine tonight. So, how you said you're doing good this evening?
Yeah, I'm good. All is well.
That's good to hear. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about a few things that's been happening. First of all, let's talk about Versus, because everybody's been talking about it. They've been talking about the locks, Dipset. I just want to say Jadakiss brought it, and he brought it well. And he was he was like, I thought they were going to fight. It was so aggressive. I'm like, just kidding.
You said that on somebody's post.
It was Pastor Mo.
Yeah.
I was like, they're aggressive. Like,
I didn't see it, but Jada is like my number one. That's my dude.
Man.
I rock with him. He in heavy rotation on my little playlist.
Mm-hmm.
And the Ghost, my man Sheik and them, man, they
I like them too. I like
they go hard. So
I like them both. They're in two different arenas to me, but I do like them both. I like Dipset and I like the Locks. But just reminiscing them that playing the songs that they played, I was like, wow. And he's definitely a lyrics. Like
they had some hits.
Oh my goodness, they did. Dipset did too. So it was a great Versus. I really enjoyed it. And I seen everybody chiming in and saying different things. But Jadakiss came. He was for no games that night, and he proved that.
He ain't never for no games.
He was for no games.
That little raspy voice, boy, and he about your height.
And he remember like he was flowing, like he was going and going.
He got a complex.
He got a complex. Yeah. Why do y'all say that about short people?
Shit, y'all do.
No, but it's because people mess with you. Y'all try to challenge our height.
You ain't mess with Jada. Jada come for your head.
Oh, man. He came for it.
And he clean eating and everything too. He don't play no game.
No game. So you know what Versus I would love to see with far as females back in the day, Little Kim and Foxy Brown. I love Little Kim and I love Foxy Brown.
I heard they trying.
We have to say Jigsaw and Foxy Brown.
Jigsaw. Don't do that.
She don't look like Jigsaw.
She's altered her look,
man,
but
she ain't.
She gonna always be Little Kim to me. She
remade herself. She turned it. She trans. What they call it?
Well, to be fair, her first 3 surgeries was because she was getting beat on. Not because she was necessarily trying to change her
look. Yeah, because she was.
So, but the corrective surgeries afterwards was like trying to correct
what they did because she had a box job. She was messed up.
I'm trying to keep fixing. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna send y'all a picture of Jigsaw.
I know, but my thing is, it's still Little Kim, and she didn't have some transformations. But I am a huge fan of her, and you don't know what somebody going through, why they do what they do.
The old Kim, yeah. No. I rocks with the old Kim.
She's still her. She just looks a little different.
With the B, huh? That's Lil' Kim, I know.
So I'm hoping that
your whole family.
Just an all black, like the omen. Had your friend saying, "This is for my homie," and you know me. Okay, you got me on track.
That's what I'm saying. All right.
Anyway,
Look at she up here reciting verses.
hey, Little Kim is my girl. I love Little Kim. I will always
You have no idea, son.
I love Little Kim.
If Lil Kim on the verses, it's over.
Oh my goodness,
man.
she
She
killed
gonna
it.
be rapping the whole time.
Man, love it. So, I would like to see that versus. Yeah, I would
that'd
like
be
to see
dope.
that. I think that'd be pretty cool. Now, in another news, listen, this is something I've been seeing and talking about. Do y'all know the use of alcohol has went up since the COVID?
I can believe it.
And
Yeah.
it's been a lot of accidents. People are driving crazy. It's just a lot going on. So please be mindful.
They
you know,
fighting more.
they fighting more. Yeah, it's a lot going on. And they said due to not just the COVID, but what's going on, people's situation, and people are not, a lot of people not working. So they got time and they drinking and they, so yeah. Just be mindful.
Is a lot of them not working because they choose to? I know that's a big topic. Like,
It
people
is.
not trying to
It's a
work.
combination of both.
Yeah.
It's
A
a
lot of people
combination.
not.
It's a
They don't-
combination.
they don't-
So, you know,
They can't-
unemployment pay more than employers.
Yeah.
So that's why a lot of people, but how long can you be on unemployment?
Shit, 26 weeks, 26 payments, so that's a year.
A year. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
So it's every 2 weeks. Yeah.
yeah. And then
I mean, a lot of, especially a lot of the younger generation, they are really taking full advantage
They
of, you know, like even the guy that does my lawn, you know, he's having trouble with employees. Like, no one wants to work. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know what he's paying them, but you know, I'm sure it's not what they could be sitting on their tail doing or partying doing or whatever. So
yeah, I'm trying to get people to work with me doing my landscaping, and I'm like, these people just don't want to work, and I
Yeah.
pay decent,
Yeah.
I pay good.
you
Like,
can't.
Well, the younger generation, it's a whole bunch of stuff that factors into them not wanting to work because they ain't grow up
they did.
Yeah.
in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I started cutting grass at like 7, 8 years old. These kids don't even be outside for real.
No, they don't.
And I was
So they
gardening
not-
with my
so
grandparents
they not-
and my dad
yeah, so
when
they
I was
not-
a
Ain't no,
kid.
ain't no,
They
ain't
not
no
learning
kids
work.
outside. Just a couple of weeks ago, I was sitting on the porch and there was some kids down there playing. They was doing the things that I was doing. You know, they was running up and down and they was cussing and they was, you know, playing dodgeball and tag and you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. And you know that we don't see that too often
No,
anymore.
you know.
So,
So,
shout
yeah.
out to them little crump snatchers that was down there being
Being crumb
crump
snatchers.
snatchers. Right.
And then, not so much on a lighter note, but just want to say a prayer for the family of Daniel and Kaya, who were killed by a drunk driver Saturday night on his motorcycle.
Yeah,
So people, please be mindful. I know people think you drink and you go out and you can still drive, but you don't understand your mindset. You think you can, but don't put yourself in jeopardy or somebody else.
Right,
When it
no
comes
doubt.
to that, yeah, do it at home or have a designated driver, get an Uber. Because 2 lives are lost, and now the family is left to, you know, suffer and endure because of just to me, like a senseless death, and it was a senseless death. So definitely want to keep her family in prayer, his family, and for their children and loved ones and friends and family. That was a tragic situation.
Also, Cass Tech has lost another one of their long-term coaches, Coach William Sassy. Condolences to his family, to the Cass Tech football family, and the school and school system overall.
Yes, keep them in prayer.
Condolences to that family.
And it's just a lot of deaths going on. So just praying for everybody losing loved ones. You know, life is so short, and you never know when your time is. So, you know, love on people, forgive people.
Forgive,
yes.
That's big, yeah.
That is huge. We're going to talk about that in a moment, forgiving people. Also, another thing, I've been hearing this, and I've seen the tickets. We just looked it up, but the tickets went on sale for David Chappelle, who's going to be at the Fillmore. He's doing 4 shows.
Definitely.
August the 10th.
And that
To
thing.
August the 10th, August the 11th, and August 12th. Ticket starts at $175. Would you pay that to go see Dave Chappelle?
Definitely.
Okay. How about
Times
you?
2.
Yeah, I would, but I'm mad that I'm gonna be out of town all
Ah.
year.
I love Dave Chappelle. I think he's an awesome comedian.
Yeah.
But he's a thinker. I like people that think, and he thinks
Yeah.
outside of the box. And he give you real stuff, but he put a little twist to it with some comedy. One of the best to ever do it. So he will be here at the Fillmore in Detroit. So if you guys want to check that out, get your tickets if there's still tickets
Y'all
available.
wait for me and let me get my tickets first because y'all be tripping.
Well, tickets went on sale already.
Well, y'all wait.
Once those who haven't gotten them yet.
Watch it. It's live. Oh, wait a minute. I want to go.
Somebody will be like, take me.
I want some things.
Take me, Zaddy.
She started your shit.
Anyway, so make sure y'all check that out, Dave Chappelle. Now let's get into our topic for this evening because I know you got a lot to say. So tonight we want to talk. Our topic is blended families, and for those who don't know, those who do know, Fred and I was once married, and
Yes, we were.
we were once married, and
Once upon a time.
once upon a time. But I do thank God for where we are now. It was a thing.
It was-
it was a thing.
It was a whole thing. Yeah.
But
it was-
we forgave, we moved forward, and that's what you have to do. Instead of lingering
Yeah.
on something, you just move forward and you move on with your life. So we want to
Be
talk
mad
about
all your life, man. People
Yeah.
walk around mad and
Mad,
stuff all day long, just angry.
yeah, and that's a lot of the issues now. People so
Yeah.
angry, they got things so bottled up, and sometimes you be mad at the wrong person.
It's deep seated.
Yeah, it's deep seated. Look at
Yeah.
yourself. So,
It's
but we
deep-seated.
love to point fingers at you did this or you did that,
Yep.
and not looking at ourselves.
Yeah.
So we want to talk about that tonight. Blended families, dating someone with children, marrying someone with children, and how do you introduce yourself or your kids to someone? And do anybody even take account of how the kids feel? You know, we go on and like we like this person, we love this person, we're gonna get married. But when you have younger kids, how do you incorporate your children? So let's get into it.
Well, you know, there's no blueprint to the thing. You know, everybody's situation is different. Everyone mindset is different. People marry for different reasons and get together with someone for different reasons. So I don't think it's a blueprint, but it has to be done, and it has to be done intact.
Yes, I agree.
So, yeah, that whole introducing, I think what you and I, you know, kids were quite small. My kids were.
They were at 5 and 6 or 6 and 8,
yeah, something like that. 8
Yeah.
and 5, or yeah, something like that. And I think we just had like a dinner or something. We like brought them like, you know, like dinner. Like, hey, guess what?
Yeah, we did. We had dinner.
It wasn't attack, but I mean, it was attack for us at the time. I guess we thought that was a way of doing it. So, yeah.
Now, and one thing, and I remember this, one thing we were going to do, but it kind of happened before it happened. We were going to sit down and have a talk with the kid's mother.
Right.
But I think she came by one day and was like,
Yeah.
hey, and so
Right,
that's
yeah.
how that happened.
Yeah.
But one thing I would say about our situation, and I always take my hat off to you about this, he made sure that we were all good. Him and Angie, this is his first wife who he has his children with, and they have moved on, you know, in their lives, and they were able to be co-parent well together at that time.
Shout out to the baby mom.
Yeah, shout out to, well, I call her Angie. Shout out to Angie because we had a wonderful relationship. We never had any issues when it came to co-parenting with the kids.
Right.
So I take my hat off. You didn't let that happen. It was no reason for it to happen.
Yeah, I mean, because at that time, I mean, you know, me and Angie split in 05. We didn't divorce to 08. You and I didn't marry until 2010. So by that time, you know, me and Angie had, you know, we had got through our little rough patch, and you know, the pointing fingers and the mad ass, and you know, can't have this person around, and you know, it's funny how with the biological parent and the girlfriend or the new wife or whatever, how women, I see this more so with women than men, that women get the wife or the whoever's been left behind, who's ever been divorced or left behind, they mad at the new person.
And I don't understand that either. Like, why are you mad? First of all, you mad at that dude. You ain't mad at me.
Yeah, you know, but you can't take it out on the dude because
So you
know
take it out
that-
on the woman.
That's
I
how
don't
it happens.
understand that.
And then, you know, dudes be like that too, because I remember I had no when Angie was I hope she don't. I'm sorry, Angie, if you don't, if I'm dropping your name, but when she got with her guy after we split, I wasn't thinking about Angie. You know what I'm saying? Like, in that sense, like I didn't care about what she did or who she did or you know what happened, but I was more concerned about who she had around the kids. And at that time, the guy was, he was less savory than, what I'm saying, I would have wanted for my kids to have.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If he was a garbage man or he was a postman or a doctor or whatever, I would have been good. But, that wasn't the life he lived.
Right.
So I was kind of in my feelings about, like, why this? You know what I'm saying? Why you got to put them through this? So
Right.
It was my mindset, you know what I'm saying? But everything worked out. They ended up getting married and, they had, their time and
Right.
all was well. No one got hurt. Nothing happened on their watch while, they were together. So, and then we all ended up being friends, man. Earl used to go to the, I'm sorry, I'm dropping names. Me and Dog used to go to the bar together, and you know what I'm saying? I'd come over, and you know what I'm saying?
But
We
I
had
think that's
dinner.
important. Yeah, and I think that's so
Yeah.
important. I remember, like, even with the kids, they stayed kind of far at the time, and we would take the kids back and forth. I would take the kids to,
Yeah.
to their house, take them to practice. But that's what you do when you have a blended family. One thing we never did, and this is one thing I never did, and I come from a blended family, and so do you.
Yeah.
Never say step kids. Never say those my bonus children, or that's my wife's
no,
kids,
my
or that's my
parents
husband's
say
kids.
that shit.
Anytime I had, those are my kids. I never said, I have 3 kids. At the time, I had 3 children. It was my son, Taylor, and Miles. Javante, Taylor, and Miles. Those are my 3 kids. We was out. That's my daughter. It was no, this my husband's child. Or if people like,
Yeah.
you had a daughter, you have another son, because everybody know me to have one child. I'd be like, then I'll say I married into 2 children, but
Right.
never say my stepkids, bonus kids. I don't believe in that, and I wasn't raised that way either.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised. I was raised in a blended house, but we was like the Brady Bunch, right? So my parents came in it with 5 kids each. I was
5
the only-
kids each?
Yes, and I was the only one that they had together.
Okay.
So I was the 11th child and the baby, and like you was called either mom or daddy, and it wasn't no Mr. This or friend, or I hear a whole lot of different names that people call their step parent or bonus parent or whatever. And I think a lot of it is with age too. You know what I'm saying? Depending on because you can, like even my it's funny. My parents were 17. My dad was 17 years older than my mom, and so he had kids damn near her age when they got together. My oldest brother and my mom was like 4 years apart, and my oldest sister and my mom was like 6 years apart.
Okay.
But they still called her mom.
Right.
I thought that was like pretty crazy.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's
saying? Like
great.
even now, you know what I'm saying? So, but they respected her and called her mom, and and there was no other way. Like, and they wasn't in the house. They wasn't living there. They were adults by that time. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So,
And,
yeah.
and that's when you say it was like when we got married. I remember Taylor and Miles. They couldn't wait till we got married because they was like they were gonna call me mom. And to this day, still do. I still call her my daughter. Javante was older. I think Javante was 17 or 18.
He was like 15, I think.
Was he 15?
15, 16, something like that.
Okay. Well, he was older.
He was a little older.
He was a little older, so he and Javante laid back.
Yeah.
He was kind of quiet kid, but no issues there.
Very reserved.
Very reserved.
Yeah.
And Taylor and Miles, as soon as we got married, they called me mommy, and that's what they called me from that point on, even to this day. And me and Taylor, we talk more on the texting or calling than me and Miles, but we still keep in touch. Very proud of her. Very proud of Miles, and they were well respectable children. Now one thing I want to talk about, because I went through this with my dad and I was an adult, so I noticed like things started to transition for a minute with the daughter, and it tends to go that way with girls, especially girls that are so close to their father. So I could relate to Taylor, and I was like, careful what you put out because you get back. Because all of my dad's girlfriends I loved. Kim was like one of my favorites, and so was Sharon. Me and Vi, at first we started good, then it got real bad, and then it got better. But the love I had for my dad, I was grown, but it was like, who this woman coming in, and she didn't act like the other ones. She was different, and I didn't like it. Right. So, and then her daughter, I didn't care for how we were. So it got a little ugly, but I knew how it was tearing up my dad. Because he loved me, I'm his daughter, and then he loved this woman. And one day I just said to him, like, you like her? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, do you love her? And he was like, yeah. So I was like, Sheila, grow up. and act like a adult.
With the daddy girl thing, that's just what it is. They want to claim, and you got to understand also the type of relationship that you have with your children. Me and my kids were really touchy-feely, laughy, jokey, playtime, whatever. And when you and I got together, it was a little more, not so much of that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't a lot of playtime. She wasn't as
playful.
Yeah, she wasn't as playful, man. She was so serious, like all the time. Like it was crazy. I mean, I'm glad we can be candid and open.
Yeah, because you always say
she was really uptight and like really, but she was reserved too. She wasn't really like that with the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like where it's like lovey-dovey, you know what I'm saying? She was more stern and, I love you this way. I love you, but, I love you the way I love you, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, we're not used to that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't used to the way I was, because they wake up.
She used to look at us crazy, man. I mean, the kids want to come jump in the bed and wrestle and play, and she like, no, that
get y'all little ass
y'all on with that. So it was a thing, and it had become a problem because they like, well, why is it this way? You know what I'm saying? Why I got to be like this? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the problem? I mean, they can't really
and they were
express
young.
themselves. You know what I'm saying? At 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 years old. You know what I'm saying? They not really like. Well, they just like, well, okay, well, if that's the way it is, okay. You know what I'm saying? They just going along to get along, but it was a problem. Like, we still had conversations to this day, like, yeah, I don't know why it happened like that. You know what I'm saying? I can't explain it. You know what I'm saying? And so,
and they didn't understand it because they were children and kids, and that's why I say when you get with somebody, do you have that conversation with the kids? Do you see how the kids even feel about the person that you're dating or you're going to marry? Because I think a lot of times we don't include the children. We just, we in love or we like this person. We gonna do what we do, and y'all gonna come along.
Yeah, you just gonna go with it, and that was one of the things that we didn't do right.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Because we didn't really, well, in our quest to get married or whatever, we got married really fast.
We did.
Super fast, right? Like, December, hey, how you doing? And May it was.
He's like, I gotta have you to be my wife.
But we were married.
Yeah, we were married.
Yeah, we were like married.
And it was our second marriage.
Yeah,
it was my second and your second.
So you don't know a person. Mm-hmm. I just personally feel, I mean, you got a whole lot of people saying, a man knows what he wants and a woman knows, we too old and we don't want to play no games and all that, but I am dead ass when I say you have to know who you're marrying. It's not so true. It's not for play.
It's not.
And that's probably why I'm not married now, because I'm not doing that no more. You know what I'm saying? You get married twice and divorced twice, and you gotta look at yourself like, okay, something ain't. It's you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You're part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? You can point fingers all you want to, but common denominator is you. And I'm not about to play. My kids is, they're not grown, but they're adults. You know what I'm saying? They can go and do their thing. They don't care. They really don't give a care what I do now. You know what I'm saying? They like, hear no evil, see no evil. They like, daddy again.
They go, daddy being daddy.
Daddy being zaddy.
A little bit of zaddy.
But on the serious note, like, you just can't run into something thinking like, well, we can do it again, because divorce is hard.
Oh my gosh, it's so
tough.
Hard. It really is. It is.
It's mean. It's like a death. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. It's the death. It's a funeral.
Like you do mean to cut me off.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. It's a death, though.
It is, and it truly is. Like going through, and that's why I've been married more times than I care to mention. But I've been married
Keep
3
going until you get it right.
Well, I don't know if I'm gonna. Like you said, I know I'm the common denominator because I married 3 totally different guys, and they all ended in divorce simply because Yeah, I just, and you know, you want to be married. You're like, okay, I don't want to shack up with nobody. I want to date forever, and you want to do what's right. But sometimes the right thing is just to take your time and get to really know a person.
That's all I be saying.
Yeah.
So what's okay? So what's taking your time?
That's predicated upon the level of communication that you have with a person.
That is true.
But okay, so everyone's take your time is not the same.
It's
right?
not.
So I meet you, I like you. So here's the thing. This is what I find in my dating experience. We meet, we're attracted to each other, we have sex, we go together, and that's
solidifies the sexual part.
I don't know, but that's what it, you know. That's like, you know, like that's the thing. Like, you know, okay, so
I think that's the average experience.
yeah, that's like the overall.
But
what goes on? Like, boy meets girl, boy kiss girl. Now, you know, here comes the one with the baby carriage. Like, everybody, you know what I'm saying? It's like, that's, like, ain't nobody slowing down. Now, you can slow down everything. You can slow down the sex. You can slow down the courting or dating or whatever, however you want to put it. But somebody got to put the brakes on this thing and say, okay, well, what's your favorite color? Or, like, what, you know what I'm saying? What size shoe do you wear? Or, you know what I'm saying? Do you like thongs
that's why I said communication.
Or briefs, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever y'all wear, you know what I'm saying? Hipsters.
Really? Yeah, they do.
Hippies. What they call
Hipsters. That's what they call it.
Well, I'm just saying though, but like, no one is truly trying to get to know each other, and it's like,
because everything moves so fast. It's everything fast, and then you with somebody or you stuck with somebody, and you like, oh snap, this is not even what I want, or you know, I didn't even know you snored in your sleep like that. I ain't paid no attention.
Like, you know, like I have a pet peeve of a gooey toothpaste top or a gooey ketchup. That's like that's almost a deal breaker for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, clean the damn ketchup top up or the little crust on the mustard. Like, why is that on there? So, you know, like, for real, like, it's those little things that, you know what I'm saying, that you don't see, or a person don't pick up behind themselves.
Yes.
Or, you know what I'm saying, or it could be anything.
I think it's in some cases, not in all, but in marriages sometimes don't last. But when you marry young, you grow together. When you older and you set in your ways and somebody living totally different than you, and then on top of that you got kids, you got your kids, my kids, and we trying to bring it together. Do the kids get along? You know, and it's just so many factors dating somebody and marrying somebody. And I don't think we take the time to really elaborate on that. We just
what about the age limit on the kids?
Like dating?
Yeah. So
I'm not dating anybody with younger kids. I can't do
What's younger?
Like, well, I have grandchildren at this point. So anything, anybody under 16 or 17 for me.
I can rock with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need you. See, before, for me, I didn't want to date a person with kids my kids' age, right?
Your kids' age, yeah. I remember you said that to me.
I didn't want to deal with no one that, if my son was 6 and your son was 7, I had a problem. If your daughter was 12 and mine was 11, because they need the same stuff.
That was your thought process behind it?
They do. They need the same type of attention. They need the same stuff. They need the same type of thing. And, like, you know, unless you got twins, you know, most of the kids is kind of spread out, or whatever. So for me, that was something before. Now, you know, I really don't care. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you got a little baby, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You with it?
Man, we just gonna, you know, we're gonna enjoy each other and have a good time. And
you're not trying to be serious?
You know, you going on, little baby.
So you going on, little baby. So what about introducing the kids to someone new or somebody you're dating? At what point do you say, okay, we getting serious? Taylor and Miles are older.
I'm not having. I'm at the point where I really don't give a shit. Like, I'm not having. You know what I'm saying? I'm not protected. I don't have to protect the kids. They have a mama. They know they mama. Mm-hmm. They have their own life and their own friend. Like, my kids have their own whips. So they don't want to see me no more. They go all the way to Rochester to see their mama. Okay. If they don't want to see their mama no more, she on some shenanigans. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Then they come home. You know what I'm saying? Right. And I say home because for the most part, they there sucking me dry. You know what I'm saying? And spending all my money, eating all my food. I don't know why they take it easy on their mom, but they do for whatever reason. But you know, like if I don't have to have them, so I don't care if it's multiple people or if it's just one person. Like if you know you catch them in pass now. If they passing each other, you know, hey, you know, this is such and such, this is my, you know, my kid or whatever. But I'm not going all out my way to have a whole little kumbaya, you know what I'm saying, to introduce because
they might not be around.
They might not be around or the kids just don't care.
Yeah.
They they like, you know what I'm saying, it's not TV, you know what I'm saying? The kids don't care at 16, 17. My daughter 19, she'll be 20 in a minute. She just go in the room, close the door.
Okay.
You at it again.
Now, would you you've been married twice. Would you marry again?
Definitely.
Okay. What about marry somebody with children?
Well, you know, that's what we're talking about. It depends.
Okay.
You know, like every situation is different. If I'm seeing someone and they have a younger child and I'm feeling them like that, then, you know, it's something to discuss. But I'm like right now, I can get up and go.
Right.
I don't have to tell my kids bye. 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, I can go, and you know, my daughter texts me, be careful. You know what I'm saying, if she up or whatever. You know, my son, he so don't give a damn.
He's so laid back. Like Miles is just he reminds me of your dad. Like
he just don't care.
He's
man.
just so
he's so
back.
chill. But like you know, like I'm at a stage where you know, like I want to get up. My worry now is my dogs. Like who's gonna watch my dogs when I go? You know what I'm saying? Or if I go out of town or something. So I had to have someone in place to watch the dogs. But like some little, you know, like I'm out of the, you know, unless it's a grandbaby or a great niece, a nephew or something like that. I don't want it.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, I wouldn't date or marry somebody with younger, smaller children. At this point, like I said, I have grandkids, so I don't want no.
We had like, you know, like I feel like I'm really at retirement age. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to chill and. You know, I want to be able to go over somebody's house and the kid ain't knocking on the door, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is that?
Right.
I dealt with that in my 30s, man.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not about to, man. Go ahead, you little cock blocker.
and I agree with that.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
I agree
you
with
Netflixing and chilling,
and then the kid come in the room.
This little sucker in here, you know, talk about potato chips.
And you know, and I want to say this: when we were married, we going through our divorce. Our divorce was it was
horrible.
It was horrible.
Yeah, it was nasty.
It was nasty, but we got through it, and I think we just came to the point. I remember us even conversing after that, like, you know, we thank God for where we were because where we came from or where we were and how we progressed and just moved on. When you over it, you move on. I think we better friends than we were husband. No, we are better friends than we were husband and wife. And sometimes things are just
time
over.
God
It's time, yeah.
Everything, man.
And it was a
I
healing.
say that all the time.
We had to heal. We had to go through the process. It was times where, and now I don't want to, but it was times that I saw myself, you know, take you out in your sleep. I saw it. It's the truth. It's just what it is. And to get over that and to be sitting here today, I know God is real. I know that you can move on. You can move on from anything. So anybody, you know, I went to a few divorces. And, Jesus. I went through a few. But I would say out of all three of my ex-husbands, you're the one I get along with the best. I don't even see the other two.
Ain't that crazy?
but it's crazy that
But you know why? Like, seriously, because if I'm not even trying to toot no horn or nothing, but like if I wasn't who I am,
that's true.
We wouldn't be who we are. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I'm just like, dog, like it ain't no smoke.
And you smoothed it over. Yeah. And I was like, Sheila, let it go. It wasn't
no smoke, man. Like, you know, come on, we ain't gotta be like that. We go to the same church.
Yeah.
Like who? Like, what you gonna do? Y'all beefing in church? Like who does that? You ride by, or somebody brings somebody to the church. Like I don't bring people. You know, unless
you brought a few dips.
No, I didn't. I bought my best friend. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but boy.
You know
but I'm
what?
saying, like, you bring somebody, now you want to act like you don't want to talk to your ex. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just say hi, man.
And I tell anybody, one thing about me, I'm really, and that, you know, you get to a point where you grow up. When you get a certain age and you mature, you grow up. But I introduced you to my husband or friend. We are done, so we don't have that. But like I said, we have a great friendship. I'm very proud of Fred. With his catering and the leaps and steps he's taken in life, and he always congratulate me. So you can have or you can just be cool and move on.
Yeah, it could be a peaceful break.
It was after the breakup.
And it takes time.
It did take time because you couldn't have told me 5 years ago that we would be sitting here, kicking it and laughing and joking.
It wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah, and I will say, you were, I won't say the bigger person, but you opened up the door for, like, hey, let's we cool, and we were cool. I'm like, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, because it wasn't really nothing to be like that about.
It wasn't. we just
a little out of control.
And I was, and I will. I've apologized because I had to look at myself. So it's not always everybody. Like I said, want to point the finger at somebody else, and I had to look at myself, and I was like, Sheila, that was you, and I apologized to Fred for my behavior in our marriage, and the things that I did, and how I behaved.
It's crazy because every time, like, someone always asks, like, well, what did you do? They asked me that with my first wife. They asked me that second wife. You tell a person, like, you meet somebody new, be like, yeah, I was married twice. I'm open book.
Me too.
I come right from the hip. Whatever. And they be like, well, what did you do? What the fuck you mean what I do? You know what I'm saying? Like, why I gotta be me? You know what I'm saying?
Because they always think it's the man.
It's always the guy. Or you either did something.
What did you do to her?
You done spent all the money. You done gambled the money up, or drunk it up, or smoked it up, or whatever. It's not always like that.
Yeah.
There's so many more issues in marriage besides infidelity. People.
It is.
Like, everybody think that if somebody break up, somebody cheated. No, somebody could have did anything. What if somebody smacked your mama?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing that sad?
Or what about if you just were not meant to be married? Like, we tried it. It didn't work for us. And we moved on. And like I said, one thing, and I always say this, I used to tell some of my girlfriends this. I love the relationship that we all had, co-parenting. I love, like I said, you set the tone. It was no reason for that. Angie moved on with her life. I moved on. Fred moved on. She was with somebody. We even had gatherings at our house. We sit and kick it because we were mature. We were grown. So, like you said, women be at each other. That's not my style. Yeah, we had pictures together. We had all of the videos, all of the pictures, because that's mature. That's growing. So, me and Angie never had a problem. She was his ex-wife. I was his new wife at the time. And, her guy was in the picture. Y'all got along. Remember, we even had barbecues and fireworks, and his family came over.
Yep,
so that's when you mature, you grow up. At this age, I'm not beefing with nobody over nothing.
Yeah.
No, nothing.
They don't need
you
to.
can have it. And then my thing is, your issue not with me. It's with the person you was with, or it's your issue. So I don't pick up other people's issues. I just keep it moving.
So what would you, if someone came to you and said, if you had to do it all over again, what would you do differently? Not necessarily with me, just I guess because I was the one that you had to co-parent with. This is what the topic is. So, like, what would you do differently?
First of all, I would really get to know a person.
Yeah, that's number one.
I would see how their kids are. But I knew Miles and Taylor, and I knew their upbringing, and they were well-mannered children. So they was no wild kids. They wasn't doing whatever, So I paid attention to that, and I would just take my time, because I would say in all three of my marriages, I not rushed it, but we moved fast. You and I, we dated December, got married in May. My third husband, I know him longer than I know you, but we just wasn't meant to be married. And my first one doesn't count because it was the first time. There we go.
How you gonna say it, though?
Wow.
Doesn't count.
I think, like you said,
That is terrible.
The being patient and getting to know a person is very, very important.
It is, because so many people got so many things going on, and how they act and what they do, and
yeah. And I think with me, I've always been selfish as it pertains to certain aspects of my life, and my kids were one. So I was always on protection mode, even though I put them in a situation. Now I gotta protect them from what possibly could happen, and you find yourself not really protecting them because they still be exposed to the nonsense.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So they still see it. So just being unselfish with either your heart or your whatever you coveted, so that's so precious to you. You gotta let certain stuff go, and sometimes we don't even give the marriage a chance before we get married, or once we get married, we don't give it a chance because we're so selfish in our own little bubble, in our own little space. And so I think I would do that different. I mean, by the time I get married again, my kids will probably be having their own kids or doing their own thing or whatever.
That long, huh?
I mean, shit, Taylor 20. So
I
know
know.
what I'm saying? Gigi and they 40 now. You know what I'm saying? Granddaddy 35. For real.
Yeah,
if I have
true.
at 16, you have at 16 and 17, then the kid have it at 18, then you 40 years old.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it happens.
No. Okay. Now let me ask you this.
It happens. All my friends is 42 and got grandbabies.
If you were to get married again, well, you said you do want to get married again.
Yeah, I would do it.
What would you do to make the marriage work? Like, well, I know, even with all of my marriages, particularly ours, because ours the one, and I'll be honest, ours the one that I was like, I should have did things differently. You the one that I got along with the most.
Right.
And so
That's crazy.
I know it's crazy. You know me. I'm just like strictly. I'm not for games, and I'm just like, yeah. So
That's funny.
and that's a selfishness in itself to me. And like I said, when you look at yourself and you self-reflect on who you are and how you are, you'll look at other people differently, or the person you're dating, because you have to do a self-evaluation. I always be like, okay, what is this? And I'm doing this, or I'm doing that. And I seen a pattern in my behavior. Even now I do. Like, I get cold shoulder in a heartbeat, and I get dead to me.
That temper flare up.
My temper flare up really bad. That's why I try not to argue or get into nothing, because I don't have a in between.
Right.
It's 0 to 100, and that's something I need to work on, my anger issues. So when people come at me, I really don't go there now, because I know my temperament. So when you know yourself, you do things differently. But
What I would do, because I didn't know that I was an angry person when I was married. I discovered that when I was married to you, that I was seriously, that was no shot to you.
Okay.
That was on me. I was an angry person. Some deep seated stuff was going on.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I took that class that I was able to find out that I was angry. And it led me to do a whole bunch of things in my life that it was just out of anger, and I didn't know. So the laughs and the jokes and all the little silly stuff was coming from some pain that I was trying to mask or hide or whatever. And I mean, the story or whatever, but so I'm not that angry person no more. So I'm able to listen a little more now.
Right.
I am maturing in a lot of my ways. And I can say that I listen now. I'm not so quick to to puff up. I had a thing where ain't nobody gonna do this to me. I'm a man, and what I'm saying, I do this and that, and we have sometimes we have so much bravado about ourselves that we just want to ain't no woman gonna do, and you can't stop what's gonna happen. I don't think so. A lot of the stuff that I said that I wouldn't allow to happen, or a lot of stuff that took me to a dark place, and I said I wouldn't deal with it. God will show you that.
Oh my goodness,
that you gonna deal with what I tell you gonna deal with, and what I'm saying, you gonna put up with what I put before you, and let me see you box your way out of it. What I'm saying, and so I have a little more patience now. What I'm saying, I can talk a little more calm now. Now, you still ain't gonna run me over, but I'm still gonna, I'm gonna approach it differently. What I'm saying. So as far as what would I do to make it stick and stay, I just don't think that we have that thing that our predecessors had, that our grandparents had, and our great grandparents, that zip that. We're gonna thug it out no
Right,
matter
no
what.
matter
You know
what.
what I'm saying? No matter how much you didn't about to lose the house, or how much you're fighting and whatever. They had a thing that we don't possess. I just don't think our generation has it.
I agree.
But I think that if you want it, you can possess it. And you know, I 3 times, man, you might as well just go ahead and take me out because I can't. You know what I'm saying? I can't do. You know what I'm saying? That's like I said. Divorce is like death.
It is.
It's like losing. It's not even necessarily the person. It's the principle. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't. You know. Admittedly, so like my first and second, I wasn't so hell bent on losing the person. I was hell bent on losing the marriage.
I was like that too. The second,
you know what I'm saying? Like it was like, damn, you know, another one.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like golly, you know what I'm saying? Like the person, you know what I'm saying? Send a substitute or something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we could get it right. You know what I'm saying? I just don't want it to fail.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you know.
And I was
you
like
live
that.
and you learn.
I didn't want it to fail. And then I did think about the kids, Javante, Taylor, and Miles. Like, dang, they done already been through this. And here we are taking them through this again. You never stay in something for the kids because they know, they see it. But I just felt so bad that we all had to go through that. And if it's emotional and draining on us, what do you think it is for the kids? They don't, you know, they don't express it like we do. But it's changes, it's life changing for them. And they have no say so in it, you know. So I felt bad about that, particularly because you know, the kids, and I was like, dang, I don't want them to think it's their fault, or you know, it wasn't nothing to do with the kids. I remember even Javante was like, that's what y'all doing, and I'm like, yeah, and he don't talk, so you know, I was like, okay, so you know, he felt some kind of way about it. So it was just you know, getting through it, but I'm glad we do it. I mean, like I said, Taylor and I have a great relationship. Miles, even I see Taylor more talk, and she still called Javante her brother. She still called me mom, and I call her my daughter because that's the bond that me and her have, no matter what me and her father went through. And I'm thankful for that.
Yeah, you know, people don't realize, like when friends take sides, kids take sides.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Your family takes sides, so you're not only breaking up with the woman or the man, you're breaking up with their family.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that's why I didn't do a lot of talking. I mean, you know, I had a person or two that I confided in, but I didn't do a lot of talking or downplaying or you know saying dogging no one out because you know there's time. It's you know after it's all said and done, now they looking at that person and y'all back getting along. It's just like a man and woman in the domestic situation, and you know she done ran to her parents, and she done got her uncles, and this, that, and the third, and everybody hate them.
Yeah.
And then she go back to the nigga.
Yeah.
So they back together in love and getting it in and climbing the walls and everything with each other. And the family looking like you was just fighting this guy. This guy just put his hands on you or whatever. So that's the kind of stuff that happens. So you know, luckily. Again, me being who I am, I was able to smooth the family over. You know what I'm saying? Like I was, you know, like her family, I still deal with.
You smoothed it over more than I did. With my family. Amen.
And my kids' mom, we still rock with each other. We still, you know, even in that time, I remember, you know, her Auntie's sister came over for Thanksgiving that same year. She spent Thanksgiving with me and the kids or whatever, her kids. And it's just like, ain't this about, what you mean you over his house? You know what I'm saying? Having Thanksgiving, but I cooked. Did you cook?
Well, that you know I always say.
You know what I'm saying? But
nothing else about our marriage.
So, you know, I mean, you know, to be able to have that is, that's growth and that's, you know, maturity in itself, you know, because a lot of times, you know, once you break up, you know, the family goes, you know, you lose the family in a divorce. Yeah. You lose the kids in divorce. You fall in love with a kid, man. You done raised a kid from 1 year old, 2, 3 years old. They don't even know who their daddy is or their mommy is or whatever the case may be.
And you build that bond with them.
And now here it is, y'all, they 15, 16. They like, well, shit, I gotta choose? I like dog. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or whatever. So, you know, it can be like that, man. You put everybody, you know, in the mix, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, time heals all, but
I just think it's best.
It's a bad boy.
I've never been the type to put my family in especially my marriages. That's something I pretty much handle myself. People might hear about it, but I don't sit around and talk about it. This one thing I want to talk about, especially with blended families, if you have a daughter or a son and you're talking to your children about your spouse, whether it's their biological father or your husband or your wife, I think that is so wrong to do, because you taint the kids with your thoughts, and you know they're so sensitive to it. You don't know how they react or how they act based on what you're saying about the person that you're married to or their father or their mother. So, and we never did that. I never, did that with the kids.
And the kids that like even now, we have our conversation. The kids will always, whether it's a biological parent, a step parent, or whatever, the kids will always grow and form their own opinions.
Yes.
So anytime I've dated a woman and her and the kid's father don't get along, or he pisses her off or whatever, I say, you ain't got to say nothing to that kid.
Yeah, leave the kid out of it.
Leave the kid out of it, man, and let that kid form. If enough times at 10 years old, if daddy say I'm coming and he don't come,
they'll see it for themselves.
They're going to see.
Yeah.
And they're not going to, when he say, like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I'm not packing my bag, though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing all that, So, the kids will figure it out on it. They really resilient. They really see it, you know what I'm saying? Even though we put them in the mix, we ain't got to, they always see it for themselves. I never ever spoke ill on my kid's mom to the kids, because that was their mom. They had their own relationship with their mom.
Right.
Now I can dog her out because they don't care. You know what I'm saying? She can dog me out. We talk about each other all the time, to each other, in front of them, behind them, whatever,
right.
But they know us. They know us all, and they also know. And when it comes to like discipline and stuff, they also know they can't play sides.
Right.
They can't play us. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we always on the phone.
And that's one thing I love too. Like y'all they couldn't do that because y'all communication was on point.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like,
that's
when
all
people are beefing, they don't have, you're not talking to that parent. You don't know what's going on with y'all kids that y'all have in common. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So.
And that's the thing. So we get along so well. We're taking family pictures this weekend.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I've always loved our relationship.
We're going to get it in. We got to change the outfits and everything.
Y'all really getting it in.
We taking real life pictures. So
and I like to see that.
It's pretty dope.
Things don't have to be bad. They really don't. It's what you make it. And it's like I said, when you grow and you mature, you get yourself out of the way, get your being selfish out of the way, and you think about what's best for the kids. And I love the way how y'all co-parent. I've always admired that and loved that. Yeah. I think it's a beautiful thing.
And it works. You know what I'm saying? It's what you make it. It's how mature you are. It's how you I think that we probably would be in a beefing situation had we not been mature,
Yes.
And I think with us, we had our little time. We had our little time up until the court, till we had our last day of court. Mm-hmm. Judge said, okay, y'all divorced, boom. We dapped each other. We said, hey, let's raise these kids. And that's exactly what we did. It wasn't no, because like I said, I didn't care what she had going on. I just didn't want the nonsense around the kids.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because they was very young.
Right.
And, but once we got through that, and the judge told me I couldn't tell her who she could date. I'm like, he did this and that, and I got proof. Look, you know what I'm saying? He was like, man, put that shit down.
Like, go away. Shoot, shot. Go away.
You can't do that. That stands no way to hear this court, man. Just let her be.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, well, let her be.
Well, under the circumstances with y'all, like I said, you two I witnessed one of the best co-parenting with you and Angie, and I salute you guys. That. I think it's awesome. I love y'all relationship, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
It is.
Shout out to the baby mama again.
You like call her baby mama. I call her Angie. That's her name.
That's my baby mama.
That's your baby mama. Well, we just wanted to touch on that tonight, and like I said, I wanted to definitely have Fred on here because we actually experienced that. We both come from a blended family, and then we had a blended family. And even though things did not work out, we still remain friends. We became friends, and then the kids, we have a great relationship. So.
Yeah, we still be ignorant with each other and text stupid stuff and laugh and giggle, and you know what I'm saying, and even like even support each
Yes.
other. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember, a couple of years ago, you was like, hey, I'm really proud of you with your business, and hey, I want to do this, I want to buy this or that, or whatever what you're selling today, and that meant a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because you could have not.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to do that, and now that you're in your element, you've always been in your element. You've always been, with the fashion and what do you call it when you style the people?
Wardrobe styling?
Wow, yeah, all that stuff. You was always in that realm, when you had your boutique and stuff like that. So that was always your thing or whatever. And
even when we was married and I went to school for it, you allowed me not to work or work part-time to go to school. So, yes.
I do remember that.
Yeah.
I'm all, man, you hear that?
Yes, when I went to school for fashion design and merchandising, Fred held it down.
I even bought you a sewing machine.
You bought me my first sewing machine.
Where's
You
the sewing
did.
machine at?
I still have it. I use it to this day.
Oh, you got that in the divorce?
I got that in the divorce because I was keeping that sewing machine. It was a Kenmore. It's a Kenmore too, and it's a really nice one. So I was like,
I did buy that damn sewing machine.
You did buy it, and every time I sit on it.
I asked you to sew some pants up one time. You gave me some slack. I'm like, damn, I just bought this damn.
And I just made a dress with it the other day. So thank you.
No problem. I'm glad you use it. I'm glad you using it. You know
I'm glad you use it. It's a really great sewing machine. So
yeah, that's what's up.
And that's what supporting, your spouse, or even like I said, now we're not married, but I love what you do. I support you. And I pay full price when I get a dinner. Or dessert.
You gonna pay. You gonna pay.
I don't ask for the ex-wife discount. I don't do that.
And when you come do my little set, my little guard, my little shoe up, and my little curb appeal, and I gotta get taxed. I know you're gonna tax me, but it's okay.
You're gonna pay like you weigh. And you weigh, baby.
And I'm happy.
On that note, y'all, we gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in, but make sure you just pay attention to who you date, who you marry with children, and be mindful of your children. Have a conversation with them because you never know.
Take your time.
Take your time.
Man.
Yes,
Stop
take your time.
trying to marry somebody in 2 months.
Yes, yes.
You know what I'm saying? Stop trying to live with somebody in 2 months. Just chill, man.
Just chill. I agree. So
it's okay. Like y'all can like each other and love each other and have that, and y'all can bring y'all stuff together. Just everybody relax.
Relax.
That's all you gotta do.
When we typically get out of here, we say what you got going on. So I'm doing my thing. What you doing?
I got a funeral this weekend. I'm catering. Me and my baby mama and my 2 children. We're taking pictures this weekend. Next weekend, I got catering. All month, I got catering. So this is my retirement. I say my retirement. I left my job a few months ago. Well, I made them get rid of me. But in the same token, I left, and so that's what I have going on. I am full-time to Gilmore Experience, so if y'all need some catering, you even need some cakes. Cake Daddy is here.
I need Oreo cookie pie.
I'm up in this thing.
On that note.
What you got going on, Shay?
Well, you sound like you. Man, you're going to have to come and join us more often. What I got going on, my landscaping, my gardening. I'm about to travel with one of my great clients. Shouts out to her. She's actually getting an award this weekend. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah.
She's the VP of Mahogany.
Shout out to Alexis. Go ahead.
The VP of Mahogany. And we got to wrap it up, y'all. We got to go. So thank y'all for tuning in. You guys have a wonderful evening. It is the dinner table with Q and She with our special guest host tonight, Mr. Gilmore, Fred Gilmore.
Fred Gilmore.
Woo, and we out. Peace.
All right, y'all. That was dope.